Tonight on Cronkite News, the Trump administration announces a new bill that may affect your child's access to early education.
Plus, local animal shelters say that they are at max capacity with hundreds of animals in their care. Find out why.
And former Sun Devil basketball player Stephanie Norman returns to her alma mater to help coach the women's basketball team. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Patrick Renault.
And I'm Milexa Cardona. Thank you for joining us. Head Start serves more than 17,000 children in Arizona. In its 60 years of its operation, the program has never required families to verify their immigration status.
That's changing under a new directive from the Trump administration. Maria Loaiza has more on the impact.
Head Start offers nutrition, health, early childhood education, and support for children living in poverty. That includes children without legal status or whose parents are undocumented, enough to cost taxpayers $374 million each year, according to the Department of Health and Human Services. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says the new proof of citizenship requirement is part of President Trump's effort to end illegal immigration. But Head Start advocates say children living in poverty should not be used as political pawns. On Monday, Arizona and 20 other states sued to block the new rule.
We know that children that participate in Head Start programs have higher academic outcomes, they have better relationships as adults with their peers, and we know that they have better health outcomes. And for families, it's this great opportunity to begin to break these cycles of generational poverty.
Head Start funding is related to the number of children served at each location. A significant drop in enrollment will mean less funding.
There is a significant reduction in technical support that grantees receive, and now with the added interpretation of these statutes, it also creates additional administrative burdens for Head Start programs to meet its contractual obligation.
The Trump administration hasn't issued guidelines yet on how Head Start programs should enforce the citizens-only rule. HHS estimates that checking documents will cost an extra $21 million a year nationwide, but the savings is far greater. Child advocates warn that needy American-born children will be excluded because their parents aren't here legally and are too afraid of deportation to enroll them. In Washington, Maria Loaiza, Cronkite News.
Head Start advocates have been lobbying the White House and Congress, hoping to reverse the new rule. For now, the program can only serve children whose parents can prove U.S. citizenship. This includes children who were born here.
As education continues to be a hot topic in Washington, Congress has now approved a bill that would slash $1.1 billion from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. More than 1,500 stations rely on support from the CPB. Across Indian country, these stations serve over 1.5 million people, providing emergency alerts, local news, and indigenous culture.
Those communities would lose a lifeline of communication. They wouldn't be able to they wouldn't be able to disseminate emergency information in a timely manner.
Cutting of NPR and CPB might cause 40% of native stations nationwide to go dark because many of them are 35, 65, maybe even more dependent on that funding for their operation expenses.
The cuts won't kick in until 2026 and 2027, but companies are already starting to look ahead and budget for what's to come.
Also in Washington, Governor Katie Hobbs will be visiting this week for talks with federal officials about the Dragon Bravo wildfire, which is burning in the Grand Canyon National Park. Hobbs visited the site this weekend, and during her visit, she got an in-depth report outlining the wildfire by federal officials, along with a helicopter tour of the affected areas. The wildfire began July 4th and has now reached nearly 13,000 acres, but is only 8% contained. Officials suggest that the light rain expected up north this week could potentially help slow the spread.
Stray animals in Arizona have been a problem for years, and while many shelters and foundations are trying to help the issue, the numbers just have not moved that much.
Yep. Cronkite News reporter Maggie Wall spent time at the Maricopa County Animal Care and Control Center to find out why.
Shelters across the valley are filling up with strays and lost pets, with many reaching capacity, but it's especially bad in Phoenix.
We see a lot of stray dogs coming here with no microchips with them, no collars with ID tags, so there's no way for us to get the dogs back home.
The Maricopa County Animal Care and Control Center has over 800 dogs in their care right now. The shelters are becoming overcrowded.
And we need adopters and we need fosters as well to open up a kennel space for dogs that are lost and need a kennel here as well.
The overpopulation of animals is a leading cause of the increase in strays. In the most recent shelter study by the ASPCA, 4.2 million animals were adopted nationwide in 2024, but it still isn't enough to make a difference in the number of shelter animals.
We have backyard breeders or people who just don't get their pets spay neutered, and then maybe they have an accidental litter. So there's definitely an issue as far as overpopulation in general of animals.
Maricopa County Animal Care and Control Center highly recommends microchipping your pets and keeping a close eye on them outside. In Phoenix, Maggie Wall, Cronkite.
Another cause of stray animals is people realizing they cannot care for them financially.
Coming up next on Cronkite News, we'll see how one local program helped a former inmate's dream turn into a reality. The Arizona Black Chamber is helping mentors and small business owners across the state jumpstart their careers. Find out just what this program is after the break.
I'm Eddie McCoven in the Cronkite Weather Center. We started off the week with some cool, cloudy conditions and a little bit of rain. How long is that going to stay around? We'll have your full forecast coming up.
You meet so many new people who are on different communities, and when you do that, you're able to network not only, but also get to engage, talk to people, and make life friends.
I think that definitely surprised me, the community that I would find, because I wasn't really expecting it.
Freedom.
Friendly. Nice. I'd say cozy.
This is where Cronkite can be creative.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Patrick Renault.
And I'm Milexa Cardona. App startups, photo businesses, and caterers are getting a chance to scale their small business thanks to a program through the Arizona Black Chamber.
Cronkite News reporter Brandon Cadiz shows us how this program isn't just about networking, but building a generational foundation.
Vincent Valenzuela spent years behind bars.
I did 14 years in prison, and through that journey, I missed out on the first 10 years not having a relationship with my son.
Today, he's spending time building an app called ETOS. Everybody thinks of someone. Valenzuela's idea was sparked when he had access to a tablet to connect with his family while in prison.
I created an application designed specifically for the prison tablet, which allows incarcerated individuals to have the opportunity to purchase unique items and send to their loved ones.
The app will allow loved ones to send incarcerated individuals hats and shirts, letting them know that while they're not physically there, someone is thinking of them.
If I would have had this before and be able to be a part of seasonal holidays, birthdays, I think it would have made a big difference.
Valenzuela was a 2024 grad of Impact AZ, a business academy that provides mentorship and training to small businesses.
This accelerator program isn't just about networking, it's a launch pad, and behind me, mentors and entrepreneurs are exchanging real-time advice that could change the trajectory of their business.
Beyond grants and classes, the program's power lies in its community, where alumni return to mentor, hire, and inspire the next cohort.
Not only do they try to help the next round of cohorts, we also bring them back in to hire them. Generally, we will have a caterer who's come through our program. If we're looking to do printing, photography, so many things, we also give them business.
Small businesses make up nearly 99.9% of companies, and Impact AZ hopes to help them scale, hire, and build. For Valenzuela, the goals align perfectly.
Through this program, I was granted a $5,000 grant, which helped me finish my application and got me to the next steps to where I was put in front of the right people.
In Phoenix, Brandon Cadiz, Cronkite News.
Southwest Airlines has just announced when it will end its controversial open seating policy. The airline says assigned seating will begin next year on January 27th. That means passengers will get their seats when they purchase the ticket and will no longer be able to choose a seat when they board the plane. But that's not the only change coming. Southwest has also said its policy on 2 free checked bags is going away.
And if you've noticed an increase in food prices, it could be due to the weather. A new study by the Barcelona Supercomputer Center finds prices on many food products have jumped in recent years due to weather events across the globe. One example, olive oil, which was 50% more expensive last year from the year before. And it was because of a massive drought in Spain that began in 2022. And it has been unseasonably cool here in the desert.
That's right, but there is a warm-up headed our way. Eddie McCoven joins us now. What can we expect from Mother Nature?
Well, those cool temps, we've surely enjoyed them for this weekend. It was beautiful out here, but all good things must come to an end. We'll talk about that in a moment. Let's take a look at your current temps right now. We are hanging out in the 90s, and we are going to experience some lower temperatures tonight. Going to dip down a little bit into the 80s here in Phoenix, and we're going to see that 83. Going to see 74 down in Tucson, and we're going to see 78 in Quartzsite. Temperatures are going to stay a little nice again for tomorrow because that moisture that we've been having in through these storms is still going to hang around just a little bit longer. We're going to see 100 here in Phoenix, 83 down in Tombstone, 104 over in Yuma, and the coolest spot tomorrow in the state, of course, is going to be Flagstaff at 75 degrees. Now, that moisture that I was talking about from those storm systems, so by the time we come around to tomorrow afternoon, we're going to see some widespread showers and possible thunderstorms, but it's going to be really isolated to the eastern part of the state. But we still could see something here in the valley, just a few drops, if anything. And as that system moves out, we've got some dry air that's moving up from the south, and that means it's going to push all the cloud cover and the moisture away. Taking a look at your 8-day forecast tomorrow, 100 degrees, 104 on Wednesday, and 106 Thursday. And as that dry air continues to push through, the temperatures are going to heat back up, 107, 109 on Sunday and Saturday. And of course, by the time we get back to Monday, we're going to see a little more cloud cover and some possible showers again. I'm Eddie McCoven in the Cronkite Weather Center. Back to Patrick and Malexa.
Thanks, Eddie.
Now let's turn it over to Eve McFarland with a preview of tonight's Cronkite Sports Report.
Thanks, Patrick. A lot to talk about today, including the Scottsdale native and University of Utah quarterback Devon Dampier's drive into this year's Heisman conversations.
He was the reason why we won the championship. I mean, just his style, his incredible, uncanny sense of the field.
Welcome back. I'm E. McFarland with the Cronkite Sports Report. Nearly 40 years after stepping on the hardwood in Tempe with a wildlife biology degree, ASU's newest women's basketball coach is trading in her binoculars for a whistle. Cronkite News reporter Brandon Cadiz has a story on a full circle moment for one of the renowned assistants in women's basketball.
Stephanie Norman spent nearly 2 decades helping Jeff Walz make Louisville a powerhouse program, reaching Final Fours in deep tournament runs. But long before that, her basketball journey started in Tempe.
I had a brown little Nissan pickup truck with no air conditioning. I remember driving down University going, maybe someday I could come back here, and it kind of was a fleeting thought.
That someday became a reality this spring when Norman rejoined the Sun Devils, not as a player, but as associate head coach and director of basketball strategy.
The more I shared my vision of how I wanted to incorporate her in the program and where I wanted to get this program to, it was kind of an opportunity for her that made sense.
While Norman initially said no to joining Miller's staff, Miller's vision and ASU's potential changed her mind.
She's like, you would be a perfect fit for our culture, for the way we want to play, how we want to go about this business. And from there, I was like, let's do it.
Back in the late 80s, Norman was grinding out workouts and practices as a Sun Devil guard, playing for a program that rarely made headlines. Now, after 18 powerful seasons at Louisville, she returns home, not to relive on the past, but to create future memories for Sun Devil women's basketball.
Senior guard Marley Washenitz, who transferred from Pitt and played against Norman's Louisville teams, says Norman's presence was felt immediately.
Everything's pretty detail oriented, and she's super intense, but at the same time, she's my biggest cheerleader. She's gonna push me and to be the best version of myself, but at the same time, she's gonna be supportive.
For Norman, this isn't just a career move. She wants to build something that leaves a legacy at Arizona State.
I'm in a space of gratitude. I just want to give back to the program that gave me so much. So this is really a full circle moment.
Norman started at ASU chasing a dream. Now she's back helping others chase theirs through a winning culture, just like she did in Louisville. In Tempe, Brandon Cadiz, Cronkite News.
Now to the WNBA. The All-Stars were having a ball this weekend in Indianapolis for the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game. 6-time All-Star Phoenix Mercury forward Alyssa Thomas had 6 points and 4 rebounds, and Mercury forward Satu Sabli sat out due to an ankle injury. Former Mercury player Skylar Diggins recorded an historic triple-double of 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 15 assists. With the new CBA coming, the players wore a T-shirt saying, "Pay us what you owe us." The 2025 All-Star MVP Nafisa Collier shared the players' perspective on their approach to negotiate.
The players of what is building this brand and this league. There is no league without the players, and the past, present, the ones coming up, they're the ones that have put in the blood, sweat, and tears for the new money that's coming in, and so we feel like we are owed a piece of that pie that we helped to create.
From Saguaro to the Big 12 spotlight, Devon Dampier is leading Utah and drawing Heisman buzz. Cronkite News reporter Lindsay Dean caught up with the Arizona native making waves on the national stage.
Before he was preparing to lead Utah into a new Big 12 season, Devon Dampier was lighting up Friday nights in Scottsdale. At Saguaro High School, Dampier led the SaberCats to a state championship his junior year and earned 2022 Max Prep's Arizona Player of the Year honors.
He was the reason why we won the championship. I mean, just his style, his incredible, uncanny sense of the field, knowing when to do certain things. Some things you just can't teach, and he possessed all of that.
Longtime Saguaro assistant coach Frank Rubin says Dampier was the kind of player who changed a program.
He was just one of those kids that was so dynamic and so engaging with not just his teammates, but everybody on campus, including the faculty.
Former Saguaro head coach Jason Mons was one of Dampier's biggest influences. Now the two are on opposite sidelines in the Big 12, as Mons is currently the tight ends coach at rival Arizona State.
That guy would make sure he was there for me anytime I needed him. I was able to
talk to him about any topic, any needs I had. He was always there for me.
Dampier says that same kind of relationship is what drew him to Utah, where the coaching staff cares more about than just what happens on the field.
Similar to Coach Mons, he truly asked me questions that you wouldn't really expect from a coach, just because he wants to know more about you than just your football side of things.
Utah head coach Kyle Whittingham says Dampier's leadership has been clear from day one.
He's not an ego guy. He's a team guy. Our players picked up on that very quickly. 2 weeks into the semester, we have a leadership council vote. He is a landslide member after only 2 weeks being around him.
Now, with Utah entering its second season in the Big 12, Dampier is poised to become one of the conference's most dynamic quarterbacks. And he says the lessons he learned in Arizona still guide him.
Just the people there in Arizona, you find out that they're really nice, and people are very supportive of your dreams and your aspirations, and that's why I love Arizona.
From Friday nights at Saguaro to leading the Utah Utes in one of college football's toughest conferences, Devon Dampier's journey has led him from Arizona high school football stardom to right here in Texas at the Big 12 Media Days. In Scottsdale, Lindsay Dean, Cronkite News.
Dampier and the Utes opened their season at UCLA on August 30th, and with a growing national spotlight, Arizona fans will be watching closely. In a push to make the playoffs for the first time in 4 years, the Cardinals made several changes to the coaching staff this offseason, including an assistant coach that just won a national championship with Ohio State in January. Reporter Alicia Armendariz has more on the new command on the offensive line.
A big season lies ahead of the Cardinals, and offensive lineman Isaiah Adams explains how they're preparing to succeed this season with a new addition of offensive line coach Justin Fry.
I obviously loved Clayton, and he drafted me, but at the same time, Coach Fry does things a little bit different, and I enjoy them. I trust Coach Gannon and I trust Coach Fry, so they're gonna get everything they can out of me for sure. I'm ready, man. I prepared my whole life for it, so I think. I just want to take it one day at a time and, I'm not get too high and just keep competing. I think you never know what's going to happen until you're running out that tunnel week one. So for right now, it's just there's so much more work to do. And, it's a long, long season and kind of getting ready to play 17 games.
Adams and the rest of the Cardinals report for training camp July 22nd with their first preseason game August 9th against the Kansas City Chiefs. From Tempe, Alicia Armendariz, Cronkite News.
The Cardinals' first regular season game is September 7th against the New Orleans Saints. That's it for tonight's Cronkite Sports Report. I'm E. McFarland. Now back to Patrick and Milexa.
Coming up next, these potential foster pets aren't just playing dead.
A San Francisco wildlife refugee is putting the call out for volunteers to sign up as foster parents to opossums.
Possums actually have a wonderful role in our environment. They're also wonderful garbage cleaners and gardeners' friends.
All you need is enough backyard space, some patience, and willingness to love these furry creatures until they're ready to go back out into the wild.
When I was younger, there were no engineers around me, so I had to become my own role model. At ASU, I wasn't just learning to be an engineer, I was actually engineering. And graduating, I already had real-world jobs lined up. Before ASU, my goal was to be a strong, confident woman. And when I left, I became a strong, confident engineer.
You meet so many new people who are on different communities, and when you do that, you're able to network not only, but also get to engage, talk to people, and make life friends.
I think that definitely surprised me, the community that I would find, because I wasn't really expecting it.
freedom?
Friendly.
Nice. I'd say cozy.
Welcome back. Taking care of these marsupials doesn't have to be a possum bowl.
These tiny survivors are hanging in there.
This can be an incredibly difficult time of year for wildlife like opossums. From car crashes to fireworks to wildfires, many lose their mothers or homes.
For your chance to play possum, you should have space in your backyard for an enclosure that is set up with branches and pine cones so these opossums can really get a sense of what it's like to be out in the wild.
She will need care for until she's about 8 to 9 inches from nose to butt. So she's maybe, 5 inches right now?
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Patrick Renault.
And I'm Milexa Cardona. Thank you for joining us. And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.